Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's Veronica Wolf here, and today I'm going to talk about how imperfect action is better than no action. I recently had a call with someone who I find quite inspiring, and I reached out to him to get some advice. And one of the pieces of advice that he gave me, which has really, profoundly, honestly transformed, my life and how I show up in my life every day, is the fact that imperfect action is better than no action. I feel as if so much of the time we feel really paralyzed in terms of we're like, I don't feel ready to do this, or I don't feel like I'm where I need to be, or if I do it, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it to the level that I'd want it to. But just really realizing that imperfect action that is flawed within itself, action that is not gonna help, it's not gonna necessarily solve the issue totally, right? It's still better than not doing anything. Like, for example, if you have a kitchen in the living room, and there's dishes everywhere, and it's just so messy, okay? Like, you have dishes everywhere, there's stuff all over the floor, you've been doing your laundry for 3 weeks, it's folded, it's not folded, it's thrown everywhere, and you're just so overwhelmed to start to clean it, and it just gets worse and worse and worse over time. If you say, okay, you know what, I have a bunch of dishes sitting around, pots, plates, pans, everything, you know what, I'm just gonna take all the glasses, I'm just gonna clean the glasses. And eventually, take all the glasses. It's such a small thing, and sure, it's not solving the issue, it's not cleaning up the whole mess, but you're doing something. And then once you clean the glasses, you're like, oh my gosh, it actually looks so much cleaner, even though this was just the glasses. And then the next day, you're like, okay, let me clean up all the plates. You clean up the plates, you clean up the saucers, the bowls, and then you're like, okay, let me do the cutlery. And then slowly over time, eventually, before you even realize it, you have a sparkling, clean living room and kitchen. And even though the action that you took wasn't perfect, the action moved the needle. The action got you somewhere. Even, job searching. Currently I'm job searching, and it's been a very, challenging process, because it's just, really putting yourself out there and constantly facing rejection, and still, you know, battling yourself even to show up, even to, still keep on sending out the applications, and still finding new ways, and still just maintaining, that internal motivation. And yeah, just really just keep on showing up for yourself, and keep on, just doing something. And now I'm using this in all different areas of my life. There's so many things that I'd always wished I'd done, that, for so long I just didn't do it, because I felt like, oh, the first steps that I could think of weren't good enough. And I just started, literally just prioritizing taking imperfect action, right? So before, I'd always say, growing up, oh, I really wish I was a reader. I wish that, I was just someone who loved reading and reading books and stuff like this. And it really wasn't part of my identity. And I didn't know where to start. I was just so overwhelmed. And yeah, now, I read a lot more, and it's just increasingly so. But for example, one thing that I did that really, I think is a really good way to start anything that you're into, especially if it's reading, or for example journaling. Yeah, that is really just, read one page a day, or write one page a day. And it's so little, it's literally so little, but over time it compounds. And even, growing up as someone who traveled so much and lived all around the world, the only language that I'm fluent in is English. And that's one of the questions that people always ask me, oh, how many languages do you speak? I'd always feel so bad about myself, that I only knew how to speak one language. And I felt bad, because I knew that it was my my want to be able to learn more languages and to be able to connect with more people, you know. And so whenever people would ask me that question, it was just a reminder to me of how I haven't, you know, fulfilled, you know, even myself. And I started like almost a year ago now, and it's crazy that it was almost a year ago. And I literally just started by doing like 3 minutes a day of French. Kieran Ball has a really good programs, 3 minutes a day, and I think I started in like June, and I did it until December. And even guys, during this time, I wasn't like the most. I was pretty consistent, but I wasn't like the absolute most consistent person. But still, from December until now, again, like I haven't been the most consistent person, but it's crazy because now I can like, especially if I'm listening and like can also read a bit. If I'm listening and can read, I can understand like 80% of French, you know, that they're talking, right? Like on YouTube videos and stuff like that. I can like understand like 80% of what they're talking about. And if I'm listening only, it's still like 60%, sometimes 70%, you know? And that's amazing. Like that's such huge growth, and it's something that I just did little steps, you know, every day. And really, like, the little things add up, guys. And even, you know, with this YouTube channel, right? Like, I started, I don't know, a few months ago. And already, like, I'm at, I think, at the time I'm filming this, 14 videos. But I have some more in the vault, and I have so many ideas. And yeah, just realizing, like, I've always wanted to share my voice with people, and I've always wanted to help inspire people. And you know, I always search for ways in which to do it, but realizing like, you know, I can use YouTube, and that's something I can do now, you know. And even though my videos, they're not perfect, right? Like I'm changing up backgrounds, like the audio could be improved, the video quality can be improved, all of this stuff, right? But those things are coming, you know. And imperfect action is better than no action. If I waited until, you know, I got the perfect microphone and the perfect camera and the perfect background and all that stuff, literally who knows when I would create a YouTube channel, right? Like I used to want to create a YouTube channel like when I was in like 6th grade, and that was, I don't know, like 10 years ago, over 10 years ago. And imagine, you know, if I'd started then, imagine if I wasn't worried back then about showing up perfectly, you know. Imagine where my channel would be now, how different my life would be, the amount of, you know, videos that I would have had, the amount of portfolio that I would have built, the amount of expertise I would have had, right? I would be a completely different person. But at the same time, you know, the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago, and the second best time is today, you know. And even you right now watching this video, you would not be watching this video if I waited until I was perfect to show up, you know. And so guys, I really hope that this video inspires you to, you know, go after those things in your life that you've been wanting to do, you know, those dreams of yours that you've been wanting to fulfill, but that you've been waiting for the perfect time, waiting for the perfect person, waiting for, you know, whatever. And guys, take charge of your own life. Like find your own power, and you know, and enact your own power, like enforce your own power in any and every way that you can in your life, because you know, the only person that can make your dreams come true are yourself. And that goes for everybody. You're never going to be perfect. There are people who are 80 years old and 90 years old wishing that, you know, they were better, that they were more productive, wishing that they were more well-spoken, wishing that, you know, insert whatever your insecurity is. So it's never going to be the perfect time, but, you know, a lot of the times the things that are most beautiful are the things that are imperfect in life. But yeah, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know about sometimes in your life where you didn't feel ready, but you still chose to take imperfect action over no action, and where that led you to be. Last but not least, thank you very much to this special gentleman who inspired today's video. And thank you so much for your inspiring words. And I hope that you are doing amazing. And I hope to see you soon. Bye. Alrighty. Bye. Bisous.